14th on back on the outside lane, up 1 position. Field works into turn number 3 behind the pace car. Denny Hamlin, making his 500th career Premier Series start, will opt to start today's race on the outside lane. That'll move Kyle Larson, the second place qualifier, down to the bottom of the racetrack. And here to call the start of the Drydene 400 for the Motor Racing Network from Grand Rapids, Michigan, Jeff Striegel.
Everybody is on their feet. It is race number 100 here at Dover, celebrating 50 years of NASCAR, and we are under the green flag. Quickly on the break, it's Denny Hamlin. He'll lead them all back to turn number 1.
He will break free of the pack. He'll grab the lead before they reach turn 2. And the driver next on the move is Kevin Harvick. Around the outside of Kyle Larson in a challenge for second.
Took no time for Kevin Harvick to start working that middle lane through turns 3 and 4. That's where he is, getting a fender out in front of Kyle Larson. However, Larson's green and black Chevrolet is strong at the bottom. They're still side by side.
Ford and Chevy wheel to wheel for that number 2 position. Now it'll be Larson that gets the advantage. He'll squirt out in front of Harvick and back to the number 2 spot. Harvick back to 3rd, and now they're wheel to wheel for 4th.
And that is Truex on the bottom. To his outside, William Byron. Right behind them would be Williams' teammate and Chase Elliott, although he goes way up the banking. And here comes Eric Almirola down to the inside. Hard racing again back in 1.
Harvick had a slip in 4, and so did a couple of other drivers. Martin Truex Jr. able to capitalize. He'll come sliding underneath Harvick. He'll grab 3rd, and now Harvick is under fire from William Byron in 4th.
Who takes a peek to the inside because Harvick again washes up the 24-degree banking. William Byron is there. He'll pull even. This will be the challenge for position number 4. Byron to the bottom, Harvick on the outside.
Kevin Harvick dropping anchor here in the first 2-3 opening laps of this 400-miler at Dover. Just getting passed by William Byron, who'll take that spot. And now Harvick looks in the rearview mirror. Teammate Eric Almirola has arrived on the scene.
Yeah, it looks like Kevin Harvick's having most problem down the center of turn 3 and 4. A lap ago, he slid up the track about a lane. The lap before that, he got really loose. And right now, guys, it looks like the tire pressures are starting to come in on the 4 car of Kevin Harvick, and that car's finally starting to settle down a little bit. It was really twitchy on Kevin's car just a little while ago, but things are getting a little more happy right now on Happy Harvick's hot rod.
And behind Happy Harvick, you had Jimmy Johnson working to the inside and getting by Kurt Busch. So we're early here, 5 laps in. Denny Hamlin right now leading over Kyle Larson, Martin Truex, William Byron, and Kevin Harvick. That's your top 5. Then it's Eric Almirola, Chase Elliott, Jimmy Johnson, Kurt Busch, and Eric Jones.
That group of cars runs into turns 3 and 4. They begin to settle themselves out, feel out exactly where their car is here in the opening laps, because again, the temperature is different than what we practice in race condition. Keep in mind, the 2 practice sessions we had here were back Friday afternoon under warmer temperatures and sunny skies. So right now the conditions drastically different. It was an impound race after the 2 laps of qualifying yesterday. Here's Chase Elliott off the pace. Chase Elliott, his car now very slow off turn number 4, and a problem for the Hooters Chevrolet, our second driver in the playoffs to have a problem, and that'll bring out the money line caution for the first time. Chase Elliott slowing as he works his way over the apron of turns 1 and 2.
Mike Bagley on the back straightaway. Did you see by chance what might have caused the problem for the 9 car of Chase Elliott?
I did not, but one thing I did observe of Chase about 4 or 5 laps ago, he was one of those drivers that was having a problem coming out of turns 3 and 4. The car was wiggling up the racetrack, and he lost a couple of spots. He's coming past me on the backstretch, guys. He is not under power. Lights out underneath the hood of that Chevrolet for Chase Elliott.
Well, right now, guys, there is an axle laying on the racetrack. I don't know who it is. I don't know if that's from Joey Logano. That might have happened to Logano because we talked about him having an axle issue, but it's laying now on the apron of the racetrack. We don't know if that's come from Chase Elliott or Joey Logano. But right now, Chase Elliott's car is limping very, very slowly as it's coming in the pit road now, barely moving. We'll see what happens here.
The caution is out, sponsored by Money Lion, the world's most powerful financial membership. Money Lion, here we roar.
I'm pretty sure our new house might be haunted.
What makes you say that?
The furniture is levitating. Oh, and the ghost.
Welcome home.
Yeah, that's spooky.
You know what's really scary? Missing out on Geico for help with homeowners and renters insurance. Geico makes it easy to save a bunch.
Great! You're not sticking around, right?
The party's just getting started.
Happy Geico Week. Call today and see how easy homeowners and renters insurance can be. Where's your phone right now? It's probably nearby. Maybe it's in your pocket, charging, by the wall, your kid's hands.
I'm using it.
If you can, get it. Because it's more than a phone. It's your very own Navy Federal Credit Union branch. If you need to deposit checks, check your balance or transactions, or transfer money between accounts, do it with the Navy Federal mobile app. Go try it out.
I'm not done.
Or try it out later. Download the Navy Federal mobile app today. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Open to the armed forces, the DoD, veterans, and their families. Message and data rates may apply. Insured by NCUA.
We're 9 laps into the Drydene 400, and our second playoff contender is having some serious problems. The first was Joey Logano before the drop of the green flag when he broke an axle. Steve Post, Chase Elliott is the other.
Well, it's interesting you say that about Joey Logano. They feel like there's something with the axle on the right rear of this car now. They're under the hood of the Hooters Chevrolet, and they're working on it, but they feel like it's something in the driveline back in the rear of the car. Right now, they're just trying to sort it out. I don't think they're really confident in anything just yet. Well, now they're putting the hood down. The crew guys are gathering around the back of the car, and they are going to push this car to the garage area. Actually, the window net is down. Chase going to ride back to the garage. Holy cow, what a turn of events here early for Chase Elliott and Joey Logano. We're not 20 laps into this race. We're 10 laps into this race, and they're both in the garage.
Well, brutal for a couple of our playoff drivers. For those on the outside of the cutoff line, this could be good news. Here's a little bit of audio that we just captured.
We have blown up, boys. Tell me about your vitals. What you got? Not running? No, just blew up.
Chase Elliott simply telling crew chief Alan Gustafson it blew up down there. So engine failure it appears to be for Chase Elliott's team. They are in zero hurry. Pit lane was open. Only a couple of the back markers came in. One of them was Daniel Suarez. He elected to come to pit road.
You know, back to Chase Elliott, we saw that they went to the back of the car, then they went to the front of the car, and all the focus was under the hood up towards the front of the engine. I don't know if a belt fell off the dry sump system for the oil and blew the engine up or something, but there was a lot of focus under the hood to the front of that engine. So obviously that was the area that they had the problem with. We all know up there there's belts, drive belts, hubs that drive the oil pressure, stuff like that, Jeff. So I got to believe something like that went wrong.
The incredible highs and lows of NASCAR. A week ago, Chase Elliott, celebrating in victory lane on the Roval. Today, done on lap number 10. From Dover International Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Before you know it, the 2019 Monster Energy NASCAR Cup champ will be crowned in Miami.
Here comes Logano on the high side.
Be there to witness Ford Championship Weekend, November 15th through the 17th at Homestead Miami Speedway.
And he will win the war in South Florida.
3 days, 3 races, 3 NASCAR champions. Get your tickets now by calling 866-409-7223. That's 866-409-RACE or go to homesteadmiamispeedway.com.
The 1993 Cup Series season had more than its fair share of twists and turns.
Checkered flags waving. I look in my mirror, and here's Earnhardt right on my tail, and he goes down low to pass me. And I said, oh, no, you don't.
As Wallace spins, Wallace's car goes on its nose.
Here's stories that you've never heard before in a 10-part series called The 1993 Season.
And Davey was behind me, and we came off the corner, and there's a guy standing in the middle of the racetrack.
You can download it for free on iTunes and at mrn.com right now.
Lap 12, back under the green flag. On the inside, Kyle Larson. On the outside, that'd be Denny Hamlin.
Side by side through turns 1 and 2. Larson with the advantage, but here comes Hamlin flying around the outside. He'll get the advantage by half a car length off the end of the backstretch.
Working into turn number 3, Hamlin works the middle of the racetrack. Kyle Larson tries to get a fender alongside the left rear quarter panel of the race leader. Can't do it. Hamlin will lead lap number 13, but Larson is still on the charge.
Hamlin bursts into the clean air, but up the racetrack he goes, leaves the inside wide open for Larson, who tried to punch a hole to the inside. Hamlin, though, sealed that lane off coming off the corner as Ryan Blaney has a problem further back, perhaps maybe scuffing the wall at the exit of turn 2.
I think you are exactly right. Mike Bagley and a couple cars able to get by him. One of them would have been Kyle Busch, the other one Alex Bowman. You took a quick look at it as it went by. Alex Hayden, what did you see? Anything?
It's tough to tell. He was right up against the safer barrier. Maybe Rusty had a better look at that.
Yeah, what I saw Alex Bowman get into the left rear quarter panel of Ryan Ryan Blaney and kind of got him sideways as they were exiting turn 2, the corner we've talked a lot about, the progressive keys to the race. They kind of Bowman throttled back, let kind of Blaney straighten himself out, and they went on about their business. But looks like they both got together off of turn 2.
So, good news for Ryan Blaney, not so good for Joey Logano. He is in the garage. They continue to work on that Ford. Chase Elliott out, blown engine early. Mike Bagley, it is a bad day to be a playoff contender.
And we see this every now and then in these playoffs where you'll have races where it seems like the drivers in trouble and peril are those that are involved in the playoffs. Before lap 10, we collect 2. And right now, the other 10 on the racetrack are probably biting their fingernails, hoping they are on the track to see the checkered flag at day's end here.
And Denny Hamlin is the race leader. He's got 5 car lengths on second place. Kyle Larson, another 10 or so back to Martin Truex Jr., who is 3rd. William Byron runs 4th. We're early on. Kevin Harvick is 5th. Jimmy Johnson goes 6th. 7th is Eric Almirola. 8th is Kurt Busch. 9th, Eric Jones. And 10th currently is Alex Bowman.
Rest of the leaderboard here on lap number 18, running in the 11th position. That would be Kyle Busch. Ryan Blaney 12th. Paul Menard 13th. Brad Keselowski 14th. And Clint Boyer at the moment, he is running 15th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 16th. Matt DiBenedetto 17th. Ty Dillon 18th. Ryan Newman 19th. And Daniel Suarez is 20th.
21st on the racetrack currently is Ryan Preece. Austin Dillon 22nd. Chris Buescher is 23rd. Bubba Wallace 24th. Michael McDowell goes 25th. 26th, David Reagan. Daniel Hemrick is 27th. 28th is Matt Tifft. Corey LaJoie 29th, and Landon Castle is 30th.
31st is B.J. McLeod. J.J. Yaley right now 32nd. Ross Chastain 33rd. Joe Nemechek 34th. Garrett Smithley 35th, and this is where it gets really interesting. 36th, and well, that's more than likely going to be where he will be scored today. Chase Elliott 36th. Reed Sorensen 37th. And Joey Logano has yet to complete a lap. They continue to work on that car in the garage. So Joey Logano right now 20 laps down, and he is shown 38.
That look at the leaderboard is brought to you by Skechers Work Shoes. Skechers are tough, durable, and come in a variety of great styles and modern looks. They look so good you can even wear them when you're not working. Worn and trusted by millions. Available at a store near you, or find them online at Skechers.com.
We qualified here yesterday, Winston Kelly, and as you know, the guy out front, the guy that led the field to the green flag, Denny Hamlin, set a new track record here yesterday at 166.984 miles an hour. We knew the car was fast on an individual lap, but right now, Winston Kelly, Denny Hamlin looking good so far, 22 laps in.
He is indeed, as he continues to show the way. He's led all 22 laps. Looks like Joey Logano's team has just gotten that Shell Pennzoil Ford repaired. Winston Kelly, I know you were down back there in the garage area. Good hard teamwork down there to get that axle replaced. How do they feel about the race car now as they just getting back on the racetrack?
Well, honestly, Alex, they've been so busy working on the race car. I haven't had a chance to talk to any directly to the crew members, but it was an axle and a rear gear that they were going to replace on that car. Chase Elliott has crawled out of his pink and white Hooters Chevrolet Camaro, and he's standing there talking to Alan Gustafson, looking through the engine, talking to the crew members. So we hope to get a word with him, but talked to Todd Gordon before the race, and he said he thought he had a 5th to 8th place car, which was about the same thing as Joey Logano.
Harvick veered Ford in for service, just running a little bit tight still. No visible adjustments on that Ford Mustang. Slight air pressure though. 4 tires Sunoco fuel for Kevin Harvick, and he is down and away.
Eric Jones is in. What about Daniel Suarez? And now the race leader, Denny Hamlin, is in front of Winston Kelly.
As expected when the first one came down pit road, the floodgates open. Denny Hamlin's crew working on the right side of the car. He's built a little bit tight each run, but don't see any visible chassis adjustment this time. Is he going to get out in front of Kevin Harvick, who's making his way down pit road? Denny Hamlin comes out in front of Kevin Harvick. Austin Dillon on pit road. To Kim.
Line. It's no wonder they continue to depend on Detroit to keep them safe and efficient on the road. When you demand it all, demand Detroit.
NASCAR Coast to Coast on MRN.com and Motor Racing Network's Facebook. Join me, Kyle Rickey, and Hannah Newhouse as we talk with the next generation of NASCAR stars and established local and regional racers each Wednesday at 1 Eastern Time. or subscribe, download, and listen on your favorite podcast provider. NASCAR Coast to Coast. Grassroots NASCAR racing from the Motor Racing Network.
After this round of pit stops have cycled through, Kyle Larson being shown as the race leader. Denny Hamlin is second, Kevin Harvick third, Eric Jones is fourth, and Alex Bowman now being shown in position number 5. From Dover International Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
For 5 decades, the Motor Racing Network has been the voice of NASCAR. And now, it's time to tell our story.
They are in turn 2 in front of Mike Joy.
With help from some of the sport's iconic voices.
Oh, crap! And I spin around. Here comes Richard Petty.
I'm Fred Armstrong. Join me for MRN's newest podcast series. MRN presents 50 Years, the voice of NASCAR. Available for download on MRN.com and wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
It's the age-old racing debate. Is it the car or is it the driver? Well, the answer isn't really that simple. If you do the math, it's 1 part car, 1 part driver, 5 parts pit crew. Not to mention all the guys back at the shop, the engine builder, the interior designer, wind tunnel tech, decal artist. Be sure to join MRN Crew Call each week to meet the guys behind the numbers that make the car go. It's MRN Crew Call presented by Moneyline every Wednesday on MRN.com or wherever you listen to your podcast.
Back at Dover, 153 laps to go here in this one. It's the Drydene 400. The field just got the 1-to-go signal. That means field is coming to the Geico restart zone. Great news. There's a quick way you could save money. Switch to Geico. Go to geico.com, and in 15 minutes, you could save 15% or more on car insurance.
Denny Hamlin picked up the Stage 1 victory. That was a long time ago. Then most recently, it was his teammate, Martin Truex, picking up the green and white checkered flag. Who's going to pick up the checkered flag? We'll find out now in 152 laps. We're getting ready to go back under the green flag, and here is how they will come to it. Row 1, Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson. Row 2, Kevin Harvick and Eric Jones. Row 3, Alex Bowman and Martin Truex Jr. Row 4, Ryan Blaney and Brad Keselowski. Row 5 for the restart, Jimmy Johnson and Kyle Busch.
So Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin on that front row. We'll see who can jump on the gas and get going and get away from the field. Larson from the outside lane. He's going to have help on the back bumper from Eric Jones. The teammate of Jones from Joe Gibbs Racing is Denny Hamlin. They're side by side.
Kyle Larson comes into turn number 1, breaks into the clean air. Here's Truex looking 3 wide for a moment. Joe Gibbs Racing stacking him up 3 wide just for a second. Hamlin through to second, Jones to third. Truex now will fall back into 4th.
Right behind them, Brad Keselowski working the high side on Alex Bowman. They come off turn 4 side by side. They stay that way across the line. That's a good battle, Mike, from 6th on back.
Brad Keselowski takes his car away at the racetrack, and that gives Alex Bowman the inside line. He'll slide through, grab that position, leave the lane open for Blaney. Further up, here's Kevin Harvick to the inside of Truex.
And they work their way back into the corner. Outside lane for Truex will prevail for the moment. However, Harvick, he's strong on the bottom of the racetrack, keeps a right front corner to the left side of Truex.
Battle for the number 4 position between Martin Truex Jr. and Kevin Harvick is now joined by Alex Bowman. Harvick slides through. He'll grab the spot from Truex, and now Bowman begins to pressure Truex as well.
And right behind them, boy, I'll tell you what, an aggressive Kyle Busch all over the back end of Brad Keselowski. Right now, Brad running in position number 8. We haven't talked a lot about Kyle Busch, who had to check up just a little bit off 4, and now here comes Jimmy Johnson.
He almost got into the back of Brad Keselowski coming out of 4 when he checked up. That allowed Jimmy Johnson to close in. Johnson makes the pass in 1 and 2 as Kyle now is going to try to regain some lost ground.
And once you break that momentum, we've talked about it all day long, you have got to give yourself a couple, maybe 3 laps to get that momentum back. Kyle Busch is going to try to do just that and keep Matt DiBenedetto at bay.
Kyle Busch running right now in the 10th position. Good run for Matt DiBenedetto here this afternoon. He is running in 11th. This battle comes to the back straightaway, separated by 3 car lengths.
I tell you, before this race started, we talked about Kyle Larson. Could he make this? Could this be his day? He's been so good at this racetrack, but never could close the deal. But now he's made it through the entire day. All the changes of the track, all the adjustments to the car to get it going. And now he is actually faster than the 11 car of Denny Hamlin. He's pulled out to about a 20 car length lead on Denny right now. And this 42 car, guys, with Kyle Larson driving it, looks like it's a real deal right now.
Well, it does. And Alex, I think I find one thing very interesting. When you get out front, you drive away from the field. We saw Denny do it. We saw Truex do it. And now we are seeing Kyle Larson doing it to Denny Hamlin, the driver that has dominated here today. I guess it just goes to show you that, you talk about how difficult it is to pass here and clean air. If you got it, it looks like nobody can touch you.
That's a fact. And if you don't know what clean air is in racing terminology, that means there's no turbulent air coming off the back of a car in front of you. Think about driving down the interstate behind another car, or especially a semi-truck, and your car begins to just kind of buffet around in the air. That's turbulent air, or what we call in racing dirty air. After a restart and you have clean air on the nose of your race car, you can absolutely run away and hide. The other thing, Mike Bagley, that I think is beneficial to the leader when they do get into some traffic, these leaders can pick and choose what lane they want to try to attack.
And that goes back to a discussion we had earlier in the race about the track widening out and Rusty discovering and discussing the rubbering up of the track. It started as a one-lane track and it's gotten wide.